Hello guys, it's Julia. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a new episode, I guess, of new makeup releases, favorites and fails. So I did a video like this about a month ago, I think, and since then I picked up so many new makeup releases. And I have to disclose, some of these products are not like necessarily new releases, just new things I've been trying out that I wanted to give you guys a review on. A lot of you guys have said that you like my review-based videos, so I just kind of wanted to consolidate all the new products I've been trying out into one big mass review. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. 8 out of 12 of the products are new releases, so a good 3/4 of the things I'm talking about are going to be new products. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let's get right into it. I also just want to mention that I am still sick, so in the past 3 videos I've been filming, I have been kind of sick, and I'm still very sick. So yeah, please excuse the nasally voice. I hope it's not too annoying, but I'm just feeling a little bit under the weather. Hopefully I'll be okay. And then full outfit details and makeup details will be listed in the description box. So that being said, let's get right into it. So the first product I wanted to mention to you guys is actually something that I headlined in my purple palettes video. This is the McGrath Labs Mothership in Subversive. So this is a palette La Vie en Rose, which is something I've mentioned I wanted to pick up for a while now. First of all, the packaging is absolutely stunning. I think everything she does is like a work of art. She designed this amazing like box style packaging. It truly feels like a luxurious experience when you open it up. And then here are the colors. My main concern when trying this out was I wanted to make sure that it was consistent with the regular McGrath formula, because you guys know that I love that formula. It's my favorite eyeshadow formula probably of all time, so I wanted to make sure that this one was the exact same amazing formula, and rest assured that it is. There is only one matte shade in here, this one down here. It's a beautiful like dusty violet plum shade. It's very consistent with the regular matte formula. It's very pigmented, very blendable, and it's one of the most easy to blend formulas I've ever tried, so I really enjoy the shade. The rest are shimmers, but they are pretty versatile. You can use them in the crease if you so desire. I just find that these are very creamy, buttery, extremely pigmented, and just an amazing sampler of McGrath shadows. So if you've wanted to try out any of her formulas for a while now and you haven't wanted to take the plunge on the $125 palettes, which is totally understandable, those are crazy expensive, you could definitely buy one of these. I think you'd be able to get a good feel of what the formula is, and I think you'd really enjoy them. So if this color scheme is too loud for you, they do have 2 more neutral palettes, but this one is my favorite, and I've just really been enjoying this. So overall, these get a stamp of approval from me. These are definitely one of my favorites of the month, and I just love this so much. Next up, I wanted to talk about the Natasha Giann Blush and Glow palette. So this is a little mini blush and glow. This is only $19. So I was very, very surprised when I saw the price tag of that on Trendmood, because Natasha Giann is known for being very expensive, and I've wanted to try out her blushes and her highlighters for a while now, so this seemed like a perfect duo for me. And when I first picked this up, the first thing I realized was this is absolutely tiny. These are very, very small pans, and normally I don't really mind a very small pan product just because I don't really hit pan on blushes very often or highlighters, so I'm not going to go through the entire thing most of the time. This is relatively new at Sephora, so I know a lot of people have been wanting reviews of this one, so here's my review. I've been trying this out for the last couple days. I am also wearing it on my face today, so you can see what it kind of looks like. The highlighter, I think it's really pretty. It's kind of more of a subtle glow, so if you do like a more subtle highlighter, I think you'd really enjoy this one. Personally, I prefer a little bit more of a blinding highlight, not quite as subtle as this one. Even if you were going for more of a moderate highlight, not necessarily so blinding, I did find that I had to dip like 2 or 3 different times back into the pan to get a good amount of pigmentation on my skin. So normally that wouldn't be a problem, but since you are getting so little product in here, I feel like if you were using this on a semi-daily basis, you would go through this very quickly. And then the blush, same thing. I had a really hard time with the amount of times I had to dip into the pan. I don't mind a very unpigmented blush just because you don't necessarily want your blush to be super pigmented, because if you do have a really pigmented blush, it's going to be very hard to blend it out. You might apply too much. And my kind of philosophy with blush is you can always apply more, but you can never take off the blush. So I always like to go in with a pretty light hand and then build up as I go. But with this one, you get such a small amount of pigmentation each time you go in that I found myself having to dip in like at least 6 times to get this blush color on my cheeks. And that's a lot, especially for such a small amount of product. So I don't know if you're necessarily going to get a ton of money's worth. Probably a good thing to do if you don't want to spend like $34 or whatever, how much the regular sizes are, but it's just a very small amount of product, and for $20, I don't know if it's necessarily worth the price, even though it is a really nice product. So yeah, they're good quality, but I just found that they're a little bit lacking in pigmentation, and you do have to build them up quite a lot, which is a problem for such a small size product. I've been trying out the Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation for the last couple days. I have the lightest shade in LW2, so it's a light, warm shade, and I think it's the lightest shade that they offer, which is kind of normal for me. I'm normally either the first lightest shade or the second lightest shade in most foundation brands, especially at the drugstore, because they have a limited shade range. So just as a rule of thumb, normally high-end brands, with the exception of like Tarte, are a lot better at having a good shade range than drugstore brands. They're getting a full ounce in here as well, and I believe I paid $13 or $14 for this foundation, so pretty standard as far as things go. So the claims on this one is it's like a medium to full coverage brightening complex. It's supposed to be very healthy with good ingredients for your skin and just make your skin look nice and dewy. It also does have a very interesting doe-footed applicator. It's like a kind of large concealer applicator. I don't really mind this one. It's very easy to just swipe on the amount of foundation that you want, so I do like the applicator. First thing I want to touch on is the scent. It does kind of smell like paint thinner, not so much as the Wet n Wild Photo Focus. That one smells like straight up paint. That's horrible, and I hate the smell of that one. This one's a little bit more bearable, and you can't really smell it once it's on your face. So if you are sensitive to scents, or if you're a little bit scared, I would say maybe steer clear of this one, but this one seems to have a little bit better ingredients than the Wet n Wild one, so I think you should be probably fine. I haven't noticed any irritation. In terms of coverage, I am wearing this one today. I think it gave a really beautiful medium for coverage. You could build it up if you wanted to, and I don't think it would look too cakey. It is pretty illuminating, so I did set this one down with a powder just because it's a little bit too illuminating for my taste, but I do think it's really pretty on the skin, and it makes your skin definitely look very healthy, as the name would imply. The only thing that I did not like about this foundation was the fact that it did kind of crease in my smile lines. I have pretty young skin, so I don't really get creasing in my foundation, so I was kind of surprised to see a little bit of product buildup here around my smile lines, because I do smile quite a lot, and a little bit on my forehead as well, so that was kind of weird. I would say if you do have wrinkles or fine lines, you might want to set this one with a powder just to make sure it doesn't set in anywhere, but it is a really pretty foundation. I can see where all the hype is coming from. I do really like the coverage it offers, and it lasts very long on my skin, so I do enjoy this one. I will continue to use it. It's not my favorite foundation by any means. I do think the LA Girl Pro Matte Foundation is my favorite drugstore foundation, but it's still really good as far as foundations go, and I would definitely use it again. Next, I have a pair of lashes to show you guys. These are the Velvet 59 Luxury Vegan Lashes. I have the style Millie. Velvet 59 is an indie brand, and they were kind enough to sending me these through Octoly, so I was very excited to receive these in PR. I love when brands like present their lashes in cute little boxes like this. I love the kind of bow. These kind of remind me of the Cake Face Beauty Kim Tai lashes that I love so much because the box is just stunning. So here's what the box looks like. Really nice and luxurious. And then I can't show you the lashes in the box because I'm actually wearing them today. I will give you guys a nice close-up of my eyeballs so you can see how they look on me, but they are very fluffy, extremely lush. I picked the most dramatic style that they have, and I think they look really gorgeous on the eyes. They are kind of stiff when you first try them out, so I would say the first like 2 or 3 times you wear them, it's a little bit harder to apply them just because the band is pretty stiff. I don't know, I was showing you guys the empty box, but it is kind of hard to apply them just because the band is a little bit stiff on the first couple times, but as you wear them more often, they're a little bit easier to work with and a little bit easier to wear. So you do have to kind of break them in, which isn't necessarily my favorite thing to do, but after a while of wearing them, or if you just kind of stretch them out, they do work a little bit better. But these are gorgeous if you really like fluffy, like dramatic faux mink 3D lashes. They're just absolutely gorgeous, and I just love these so much. So I will definitely be wearing them. You can see me wearing them very often on my Instagram. I just really enjoy these a lot. So these are definitely approved by me, and I can't believe I was showing you guys an empty box for like 30 seconds, but definitely love these ones, and the box is stunning. I definitely enjoy these ones, and thank you so much to Velvet 59 for these. Next, I want to talk about the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Concealer. So I think I mentioned this in a video that I did right before this one, but I really have been enjoying this concealer a lot. This one has been very hyped up by some makeup artists, particularly Mario Dedivanovic, who is Kim Kardashian's makeup artist, or Makeup by Mario on Instagram. So a lot of the pros have been hyping this one up, and I have tried the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Foundation. It's a little bit dry on its own for me, but mixing in the Kevin Aucoin Neo Elixir Oil, I've really been enjoying it. So back to the concealer. I really enjoy this one. I think it might be my new favorite concealer in my entire collection, and that's saying a lot. I really enjoy the Kylie Cosmetics concealer as well. This one I just find it's a little bit better of a tone for my skin tone, and it just stays on a lot longer. A little bit more full coverage. It blends out a little bit easier than the Kylie one. Not to say that one blends out particularly difficultly, but this one just is very easy to blend for me, and it just looks amazing on the under eyes. So I really enjoy this one. I've kind of been neglecting all my other concealers lately just because of this one, and I've been wearing this pretty much every single day. So I really enjoy this one a lot. This is my new favorite concealer, I think, in my entire collection. I am in the shade 1N, which I believe is the lightest shade as well. So I really enjoy this one a lot and definitely recommend it. I wanted to mention the new Deck of Scarlet palette. I recently used this in a kind of tutorial slash demo video I did, showing you guys different techniques I use to do my eyeshadow looks. So I used this palette in that video, and I talked about it quite a bit. I gave it a little bit of a review, but I wanted to kind of touch base with you guys. I have actually been using this quite a lot recently. So the first thing I want to mention are the 2 lip shades, which I didn't show you guys in the video. I didn't use them on screen. You guys, I am so sorry for the sudden cut, but someone came in and something happened while I was filming, and then when I sat back down to film, I completely forgot that I was in the middle of talking about this product. So, I'll just finish off what I was saying. I really do enjoy this palette a lot. The lip colors are absolutely stunning. I personally really like potted lip products and like potted lipsticks like these, so I really enjoyed these. The blush and the highlighter are not my favorite. They're a little too powdery for me. The blush is really bright and too pigmented, and then the highlighter is just kind of powdery. But I do enjoy the eyeshadows a lot, and overall I think it's a really great product. And then the lip gloss is absolutely stunning. So overall I do really enjoy it. Some products are better than others, but overall I think it's a good deal for $30. Okay, so next I want to talk about the Volition Detoxifying Silk Gelée Mask. So I was saving this for the skincare routine video I'm planning to do in early June, so that's coming out soon, but I want to talk about this one first. Volition is a high-end skincare brand at Sephora, and this mask is pretty pricey. It is $60, I think, so very expensive for a mask. Volition was actually kind enough to send this to me through Octoly, and I've been using this 3 times a week. On the bottle it actually says apply 1 to 3 times a week. I've been using it 3 times a week. This is an amazing mask. This one has silt in it, so that's a really interesting ingredient. If you don't know, silt is actually the very nutrient-rich kind of like sludge, I guess, that's at the bottom of riverbeds. Basically just really amazing things for your skin. So it's actually a very ancient treatment that people have been using since ancient times, and it's very interesting that they kind of package it up and put it into a mask. I've been loving this for my skin. It's very lightly exfoliating. It does come with a kind of sea sponge, and I will show you guys in a demo that I do in my skincare routine video, because I am planning on using this one in the video. But you get a little sponge with it. It just kind of buffs away any dead skin cells off your skin, kind of pulls out things from your pores, and it's just so good for clarifying your skin. My skin has never looked this good in like the span of a year, so I really enjoy this mask a lot. I do think it is very pricey, but it is worth it in my opinion. Skincare is one of those things I do like to invest on, so I don't really mind spending a little bit more on skincare, and I will definitely repurchase this once it's over. I have some lip products from an indie brand called Ritzy Cosmetics, and I like trying new indie brands. I've kind of been trying to like expand my reach here on my channel with some different indie brands, and I like trying some brands that are a little bit smaller, giving them a little bit more recognition. So this is a brand based in Canada. They do have a couple of other types of products, but they are most like famous, I guess, for the lip products. So they sent me 4 of their glosses. This one is the shade 514, so it is a like clear gloss, basically very similar to the Glossier lip gloss. If you've seen that one before, it's just a clear plain gloss. This is the shade Aura, which is a kind of holographic, almost like duochrome iridescent shade. Knockout is more of a corally kind of pink shade, and then Nudes is a very kind of cool tone mauvish brown shade. I have been wearing these shades 514 and Nudes very often on my Instagram, and then these ones, I do like them a lot, I just haven't been wearing them quite as much. These 2 are my favorites. I really like the texture of these glosses. First of all, they're not very sticky, and they're not quite like thick either. They're not thick either. They're very, very thin and like light on the lips, so you can't really feel them. They're not very pigmented glosses either. Like the Anastasia lip glosses, I would say you don't even have to wear like a lipstick with those because they're very pigmented. They have their own pigmentation to them, whereas these ones are a little bit more sheer, but I don't particularly hate that. This is hands down the best clear gloss I've ever tried. The Glossier one I found to be a little bit too like sticky and slippery for me. This one is just the perfect amount of like lightness to it. It doesn't feel super sticky or heavy on the lips, and it genuinely just looks so glassy and smooth. So I've really been enjoying these ones a lot, and I actually do keep Nudes in my purse because it's a really pretty shade. So it was recently my birthday, and I decided to treat myself to the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder in the shade Fair. So I've heard a lot of YouTubers talking about this one. I don't remember particularly who, but a lot of people have been saying this is their new favorite powder, and I was just like, how good can it be? It's literally just a pressed powder. Plot twist, it's my new favorite powder. I have never seen anything look so beautifully airbrushed and perfect on the skin. This makes my face look velvety smooth. I've never seen my skin look so good with a powder as this one does. So that kind of hurts my soul because it's really, really pricey. This is in the $40 range for a pressed powder, and I feel like I'm going to go through this very quickly. So I don't know, I feel kind of sad recommending this one and saying that it is my new favorite powder, or like my new favorite pressed powder at least, but it's really, really good. So I'll try and look for dupes. I'm sure there's probably something out there that can maybe dupe this one, but I really do enjoy this powder a lot, and I can see where the hype is coming from. So this gets a stamp of approval from me. It is definitely a luxurious product and very expensive, but I do really like it a lot. I also decided to try out something that I've really wanted to try out for a long time, and that is the Sugarpill Pro shadows. So Sugarpill is a brand that's always intrigued me. I'd never tried other products beforehand, so I decided to take the plunge and go for a palette full of their Pro eyeshadows. So these are very expensive. They are $10 each, so this entire palette with 12 shades in it was $120, which is kind of crazy, but I've been trying these out and I have to say I really do enjoy them. I am wearing them today on my eyes. If you really want super pigmented, beautiful, colorful eyeshadows, I think Sugarpill is definitely the way to go. They have so many beautiful colors in their collection, so you can definitely pick out whatever like singles you would want. I just put together a very colorful like rainbow palette full of my favorites. I really enjoy the white shade Taco, which is like the best white shade I've ever used. Today in my eye look, I used the yellow, orange, pink, purple, and blue. But I really enjoyed these. They're very easy to blend. They do not swatch beautifully at all. They're very like a dry texture, so they don't look very pigmented or like gorgeously creamy when you swatch them, but that's very deceiving. They just perform so beautifully on the eyes. So I would definitely recommend picking these up and trying them out for yourself. Even if you can only pick up one single, I think it's really worth the price. So I do really enjoy these. They are an investment, but if you do use colorful shadows like this a lot, you'll love them. They're very big pans. You're getting a lot of product, and overall I'm really glad that I spent the money and picked up some of these. So I do really enjoy Sugarpill shadows, and I would definitely recommend. Next up is kind of a new release, kind of not. This foundation released at the like kind of mid-end of last year, which was the Too Faced Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation, and they just released a bunch of new shades, so that's why I'm talking about them as a new release, just because I picked up a shade that finally works for me. This is the shade Almond. So they did release like a couple new shades, kind of expanding their shade range. I found that I was right in between their two like lightest shades, Snow and Porcelain, which were the two lightest shades in the old version, and Snow was too pink for me, and Porcelain was just the right undertone but too dark for me, so I had to mix that one. And now I have my own perfect shade, which is Almond, which is a very light, fair skin tone with yellow undertones. So I really enjoy this one. This is just one of the best foundations I've ever tried. It's such an amazing formula. It's matte, but it doesn't feel super drying on the skin, so I actually like mixing this with the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter just to give that one a little bit more like soft matteness to it, but still maintain that oil-free, very long-wearing foundation that looks amazing on the skin. So overall, I really enjoy this one, and also it's $36 and you're getting 1.6 fluid ounces, which is a lot more product than you would typically get in another foundation. So I think if you do wear foundation every day and you only want to have one foundation, this one's going to last you a lot longer than your typical foundation, and it's really, really good. So overall, really recommend this one, and I love the new shades. And finally, I wanted to mention the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb because this is the first time I've ever repurchased a lip gloss before. I'm wearing it on my lips today, so as you can see, it's a really nice, like kind of like light flush of pink on my lips. Such a good formula. It's very light on the lips, doesn't feel sticky at all, and just like looks so juicy and glossy and beautiful on the lips. It's truly the universal color, and when I can't think of what lip color I want to use with whatever eye look, I will go for the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb because I know it looks good with pretty much everything. So I really enjoy this lip gloss. It's not a new release by any means, but it's definitely one of the most hyped up ones, and I just wanted to mention it because I did repurchase this one, and that's very rare for me with lip products. So really enjoy this one. Definitely 100% recommend this one. You can also get it with the little set, the Fenty Beauty Bomb Baby gloss set, I think. You get the gloss and a little highlighter, so really good deal, and I think it's a really great gloss. Alright guys, so that concludes my video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please let me know what you've been trying out that you really enjoy. I'd love to try some of your recommendations as well, and if you made it to the very end, I love you so much. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Bye.